Bubblegum Paper, and I'm here with another fun shaker card. Today it's a balloon shaker card featuring some new products from Mama Elephant. And this happens to be a Father's Day card, so happy Father's Day to all the fathers, babas, and dads out there. Here's a quick close-up of what the card looks like, and here's a picture of my dad holding the card. There's actually some fun video footage of him at the very end of this video. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The products I'm using today are mostly from Mama Elephant, and this first one is brand new. It's their Girlfriend stamp set, which I absolutely love. It reminds me of a ton of my friends, so I'm going to warn you ahead of time. You'll probably see a lot of those in my cards moving forward. I have the Carried Away stamp set, which also matches the Up and Away stamps from a while back. I have the Ella and Friends, where I'm going to pull the little mouse from this set. I have the So Fancy dies and the Happy Everything Sentiment stamps. And then I also have the Happy and Smile sentiments from Simon Says stamp. Now, as with everything, I'm going to start with my Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm just stamping these two images, and then I'm going to go ahead and do some Copic coloring. And as I was coloring her in, I usually start with the skin, and it looks like she has a pretty dark tan from Hawaii or something right now, but once you color in and blend it all out, it actually smooths everything out. And for the hair, it was tougher for me to figure out how to do this, and I wanted it to kind of look like me and my hair, so I did a center part and then colored it in multiple shades of cool gray. So right now it looks like I'm an old grandma, but eventually I'll get some more color in the hair and I'll actually have normal looking hair that's appropriate for my age. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to some music, and I will be back at the end of the coloring. I'm using the coordinating dies to cut out the little girl and the little mouse. And the reason why I'm adding a mouse to this card is because 20 years ago, this is like Valentine's Day 1996, I had just come back to my dorm room from class, and there was this mouse that scurried across my white carpet. I freaked out, I shrieked, my entire floor of the dorm came running towards my room to see what had happened, and I was standing on my desk chair like freaking out. So my dad ended up coming all the way from work to MIT to help, quote unquote, save the day, and basically taped all the openings in my dorm room, which included under the heater. So I have no idea if that was a fire hazard or not, but it prevented any future mice from coming into my dorm room. Anyways, now I am taking the So Fancy die and the balloon from the Carried Away, and I'm just cutting out the front panel of my card that will serve as the window for the shaker. I took a piece of plain white cardstock, and I'm just going to do some ink blending. This will serve as the background of the shaker window. I started with some squeezed lemonade, and then I went in with a shade of pink, which was Festive Berries. It turned out the Festive Berries was way too dark, and I used too much pressure, so it got all splotchy. So I went back and I switched it out for a lighter shade of pink, and I'm using spun sugar here. And the spun sugar actually ends up being prettier and lighter, still using a very light sponge technique, but I go over it a couple times until I get the shade that I want. So I want a very, very subtle pinkish yellowish background, and even though there's the Festive Berry splotch at the bottom, when it goes through the shaker window, you won't even see it. Next, I'll stamp the sentiment on the front of this card panel. So I'm using this anti-static powder tool, and I'm just rubbing some of that over so none of my fingerprints smear with the embossing powder. The sentiment I'm using is pretty thin, so I want to make sure that the embossing powder sticks and I don't have any extra fingerprints. So I'm taking Versamark ink, which is a super sticky clear ink, and I'm just stamping up the sentiment in the lower left corner. The Happy is from the Simon Says Stamp Happy and Smile stamp set, and then Father's Day is from the Happy Everything. Next, I'm going to take some of the liquid platinum embossing powder from Ranger, just sprinkling that on top, and I'll use my heat tool to set that. And I'm zooming in here so you can see the magic of heat embossing, which even though I've been doing this for years, I still love the effect of it. It just is raised and it's happy and it's shiny. After I did this, I decided that I also wanted to emboss the little string at the bottom of the balloon. So I went back in with the balloon string and I'm stamping that carefully with some Versamark ink, and then I'm adding the same thing, more liquid platinum embossing powder, and then setting it with my heat tool. I cut a piece of acetate about 3 inches wide by 3 inches wide, and I'm gluing that down with adhesive tape runner. And you might see these pencil lines around the balloon, and that is just my guide that I'm going to use for the Distress ink background. So I make sure the pretty yellow and pink show and not the splotchy pink. Now I'm taking some 3M foam adhesive and I'm just doubling it up and creating a window around the back of the card. So this is the sequin shaker well. It's where I'll put all the sequins in. And I'm just doing double layers all the way around. And then I get to go and place the corners in and just really make it snug. For my sequins, I'm using pink and yellow and a little bit of white. And they're super staticky. I should have put powder tool on my fingers or something because the sequins kept sticking to me and not to the card. And so you'll see me like flicking sequins off all the time and they keep going in all these places. Anyways, once I got the shakers in place, the sequins in place, I went ahead and ripped off all of the backing for the foam adhesive. Once all the foam adhesive is removed, I just gently place that background card on and I add some more tape runner adhesive to the back of that. And I place this whole shaker panel on the front of a standard A2 card base. The last thing I'm doing is adding some foam adhesive to the back of the little girl and gluing her on, having her hand match where the balloon string is. And I add the little mouse to her side and some Wink of Stella on both. Now I also went in and stamped 2 hearts above her head in my finished card, but I forgot to film that. So here's what the finished card looks like, a couple of close-ups. And now, if you want to stick around, you can actually watch my dad open the card. This is going to be fun.
What's this?
An early Father's Day card. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, fancy. Let me see what it is. Happy Father's Day. Oh.
It's called a shaker card because you can shake it.
Oh, shake it.
Oh. Isn't it fun?
Little girl and the little mouse there. Oh. Okay, I have to read. Dear Baba, happy Father's Day to world's best Baba a little girl could ask for. 20 years ago, you came to my MIT dorm room to scare a mouse away and keep my room safe from other mice. Now you have traveled 3,000 miles to still take care of me after all these years. Thank you so much. You were the funniest, kindest, and most loving and caring Ba ever. Looking forward to spending more time next month. Love always, Christine. Oh, very good, very good. Wow.
Let me see what it looks like.
Thank you, thank you.
Have you ever seen a shaker card before?
No.
Do you like it? It's all
Yeah.
shiny.
Yeah.
Now you can go on the airplane and you can shake it.
Just shake it. Oh, I have no time to shake.
So what are you gonna do on the airplane if you...
Read my book.
Oh, okay. What else?
And listen to Chinese story.
Oh, anything else?
And watch Chinese movie.
Are you gonna eat anything on the plane?
No.
So what was your most favorite thing about being in Los Angeles?
Driving.
Driving and all the traffic was your favorite thing?
Yeah, I have no trouble for traveling. Driving.
So you don't mind LA traffic?
I don't mind.
Oh, that's very rare.
Yeah.
I think you might be the only person who doesn't mind.
I can drive 3 hours without move. And GPS has trouble, and my cell phone no power. Can call Christina.
And then what?
Then she get mad.
That's very true.
Oh, thank you. I like it.
Okay, thank you. So that was my dad. As you can tell, we laugh a lot in my family. Thank you all so much for watching. Here is the Mother's Day card I made last month, along with a recent ice cream spinning card. You can follow me on social media at Bubblegum Paper or visit my blog at bubblegumpaper.com. Thanks again, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Bye!